You think discipline is hard because you are weak. You're not weak. You are fighting a battle you do not understand, against an enemy you cannot see, using weapons that were designed to fail. Discipline feels hard because you're trying to build a skyscraper on a foundation of sand. You're trying to run a marathon with a broken leg. You're trying to resist a force that has been training to defeat you your entire life. The force is not your enemy. The force is your brain. And your brain does not want you to be disciplined. Your brain wants you to be comfortable. Your brain wants you to conserve energy. Your brain wants you to choose the path of least resistance. Not because your brain is lazy, because your brain is old. It evolved in a world where scarcity was the norm and survival depended on avoiding unnecessary effort. That world is gone. Your brain is not. You are running ancient software on modern hardware, and the software is fighting every upgrade. Pattern interrupt. Your resistance to discipline is not a character flaw. It is a biological inheritance. Let me show you what is happening inside your skull. Every time you try to do something hard, something your brain does not want to do, two systems go to war. The first is the limbic system, the ancient, emotional, impulsive brain. It wants immediate rewards. It wants to avoid discomfort. It wants the candy, the scroll, the snooze button, the easy path. The limbic system is fast, is powerful. It has been running the show for millions of years. The second is the prefrontal cortex, the new brain, the CEO. It understands long-term consequences. It can delay gratification. It knows that studying now leads to success later, that working out now leads to health later, that saying no now leads to freedom later. The prefrontal cortex is slow, is easily exhausted, is outnumbered and outgunned. Every single time, you are not fighting a fair fight. You are asking a rookie to defeat a heavyweight champion, and then you blame yourself when you lose. Pattern interrupt. You are not undisciplined. You are outmatched, and no one told you. Here is the hidden truth about discipline that no one teaches. Discipline is not about willpower. Willpower is a finite resource. It depletes with use. It is weakest when you need it most. At the end of a long day, when you are tired, when you are stressed, when the limbic system is strongest, you have been trying to win a war of attrition with a resource that runs out. That is not strategy. That is insanity. The people who seem disciplined are not fighting the battle you think they are fighting. They are not using willpower to resist temptation every moment of every day. They have changed the battlefield. They have removed the temptation. They have built systems that do not require willpower. They have made the disciplined choice the easy choice. You are still fighting. They stopped fighting a long time ago. They started designing. Napoleon Hill understood this. He wrote about definiteness of purpose and burning desire. But he also understood that desire without environment is impotent, that willpower without systems is a candle in a hurricane. You have been trying to outlast the hurricane. You cannot. The hurricane is your biology. It will not stop. It will not tire. It will not negotiate. Stop fighting the hurricane. Build a shelter. The shelter is not complicated. It is not expensive. It is not a test of your character. The shelter is your environment, the physical space where you make decisions, the cues that trigger your habits, the friction that stands between you and the easy choice. If you want to stop scrolling, put the phone in another room. Not because you have willpower, because you cannot scroll what you cannot reach. If you want to work out in the morning, sleep in your gym clothes. Not because you're motivated, because the friction of changing clothes is gone. If you want to eat better, do not keep junk food in the house. Not because you are strong, because you cannot eat what is not there. The disciplined person is not the one who resists temptation. The disciplined person is the one who does not need to resist because the temptation is not there. You have been asking yourself to be a hero every day, every hour, every moment, and you have been failing. Not because you are not heroic, because heroes are not meant to fight every battle. Heroes are meant to win the war, and wars are won by strategy, not by suffering. Pattern interrupt. Your failure is not a lack of character. It is a lack of architecture. Here is what Napoleon Hill called the mastermind. Not a solo battle, a collective, an environment of support, people who share your goals. People who reinforce your choices. People who make the disciplined path the normal path. You have been trying to be disciplined in isolation, surrounded by people who do not share your values, in an environment designed to undermine your efforts, with cues and triggers that activate the limbic system before your prefrontal cortex has a chance to respond. You are not failing because you are weak. You are failing because you are fighting a system with no system. Build a system. Start with one small change, one environmental tweak, one piece of friction between you and the habit you want to break, one piece of facilitation between you and the habit you want to build. The change will be small, almost invisible. That is the point. The system does not need to be dramatic. It needs to be consistent. The limbic system is powerful, but it is also simple. It responds to cues. It follows the path of least resistance. If you change the cues, you change the path. If you change the path, you change the outcome. You have been trying to change the outcome by shouting at the path. Shouting does not work. Rerouting works. Reroute. Put the phone away. Lay out the clothes. Delete the app. Block the website. Park farther from the entrance. Take the stairs. Prepare the meal in advance. Schedule the workout. Tell a friend. Join a group. Create accountability. These are not tests of willpower. These are acts of environmental design. And they work, not because they make you stronger, because they make the battle easier. The battle will always be there. The limbic system will always want the easy path. That is not going to change. You cannot rewire millions of years of evolution with a New Year's resolution. But you can change the battlefield. You can make the disciplined path the easy path. You can make the undisciplined path the hard path. That is not cheating. That is wisdom. That is what the disciplined people figured out while you were still trying to outwill your own biology. They are not better than you. They're smarter than you. Not intellectually. Strategically. They stopped fighting fair. They started designing. You can start designing today, not by trying harder, by trying differently. Stop asking yourself to resist the cookie. Stop buying the cookie. Stop asking yourself to resist the phone. Put the phone in another room. Stop asking yourself to wake up early. Put the alarm across the room. Stop asking yourself to focus. Turn off the notifications. The people who seem disciplined are not superheroes. They're architects. They build environments that make discipline automatic. And then they take credit for being disciplined. You can build the same environments. Not all at once. One brick at a time. Choose one habit. The one that matters most. The one that, if you changed it, would change everything. Design an environment that makes that habit easy. Remove every obstacle. Add every facilitator. Create cues. Reduce friction. Build accountability. Then watch what happens. Not because you have become a different person. Because you have stopped fighting the battle you cannot win and started designing a battle you cannot lose. Pattern interrupt. You do not need to be stronger. You need to be smarter. And smarter starts with environment. Napoleon Hill wrote that the mind is the only thing over which you have complete control. But control is not the same as fighting. Control is the ability to set the conditions, to choose the environment, to design the battlefield. You have been fighting on their battlefield, the battlefield of the limbic system, the battlefield of instant gratification, the battlefield of easy. You cannot win that battle, not because you are weak, because the rules are rigged. The game is fixed. The house always wins. Stop playing. Build your own game, on your own battlefield, with your own rules. The battlefield is your environment. The rules are your systems. The game is your life. Start designing. Not tomorrow. Now. One change. One brick. One small victory. The victory will feel small. That is fine. Small victories accumulate. And accumulation is the only force more powerful than the limbic system. The limbic system wants now. Accumulation understands later. The limbic system wants easy. Accumulation understands that small difficulties now create massive ease later. You are not fighting for today. You are fighting for the person you will become in a year, in 5 years, in a decade. That person is watching you. And that person is hoping you will stop fighting fair. That person is hoping you will start designing. That person is hoping you will build the environment that makes discipline not just possible, but inevitable. Build it for them, not because you are strong, Because you are smart enough to know that strength is not the answer. Design is the answer. Start designing now. Your future self is waiting, and they're tired of watching you struggle. They want you to succeed. They want you to stop fighting and start building. Build, not with willpower, with wisdom, with environment, with design. Discipline feels hard because you have been fighting a war you were never meant to fight alone. Stop fighting. Start designing. And watch what becomes possible when the battlefield is yours.